The first crewed flight of Boeing's CST Starliner, initially scheduled for May 6, has been postponed to no earlier than May 17th due to a malfunctioning valve in the Atlas rocket. This delay follows the detection of a faulty liquid oxygen pressure regulation valve in the center upper stage of the rocket, which started to oscillate and produce a buzzing noise after being loaded with liquid oxygen. This issue was noticed by launchpad crews and led to the scrapping of the launch. I have seen a lot of people blaming Starliner almost unconsciously. So just to be clear, this is a problem with the rocket, which is built by United Launch Alliance and not Boeing's Starliner capsule. They are two very different things. Now, I'm aware of all the problems and delays that Starliner has had, plus all the Boeing drama in the last months with faulty aircraft, whistleblowers dying and whatnot. But regarding this new unexpected delay, Boeing is not to blame. It's just a good old rocket pressure valve giving rocket engineers some headache. Tori Bruno, CEO of ULA, noted during a briefing that a valve in the launch vehicle was vibrating at 40 Hz. Raising concerns about reaching its lifespan limit of 200,000 cycles. This means that the valve was trying to open and close 40 times per second, which would make 40 cycles per second, and that's why they were worried about it reaching its limit of 200,000 cycles, and so they decided to scrap the launch. The next step was to determine if the vibrations were complete cycles, which would require replacing the valve, or just partial ones, which might allow the valve to keep being used. After the scrap, they closed the valve, which reduced the vibration temporarily, but the issue appeared again during propellant offloading, and so upon reviewing the valve's history and data from the launch attempt, ULA opted to replace it. Now, said replacement will necessitate a rollback to the assembly bay and take several days, so the launch has been rescheduled to no earlier than the 17th of May at 6:16 p.m. Eastern. Rocket Lab has announced a couple of things, one of them good, the other one less so. The good news is that the company has successfully completed and installed the first Archimedes engine on a test stand at the Stennis Space Center in Mississippi, marking a crucial step forward in their testing campaign for this methane liquid oxygen staged combustion engine with 165,000 pounds of thrust at sea level and 200,000 pounds in vacuum. However, it's not all good news. Rocket Lab has also announced a delay in the first flight of its Neutron launch vehicle, now rescheduled for no earlier than mid-2025. This delay is not attributed to any single technical issue, but rather to an accumulation of smaller challenges that have impacted the timeline, so we'll have to wait a little longer for its debut. Despite this setback, Rocket Lab is progressing in other areas such as constructing composite structures, the Neutron assembly and integration complex, and also developing Neutron's launch site at Wallops Island, Virginia. At Starbase, stuff keeps happening as usual with lots of construction and things moving around. Most notably, we had the moving of Ship 26 to Massey's for who knows what kind of testing they're gonna do with it. Ship 26 has surely had a funny story so far, but beyond the spacecraft itself, the most interesting thing was the brand new static fire stand that came to pick it up, which looks like a sea star and will be used for static firing starships in the future. As soon as the flame trench at Massey's is finished. Does this mean that Starship 26 will be static fired? I hope so, but who knows? We'll see. Ship 30 also completed its first and possibly last static fire before it gets to fly atop booster 12, if I'm not mistaken, on test flight number 5. So yeah, quite a few items waiting in line to fly. Speaking of which, Falcon 9 B1069-15 flew on the 6th for the 15th time, carrying another batch of Starlink satellites, and then proceeded to also once again majestically land on the drone ship with a very nice shadow there. Standing 43 meters tall and 3.3 meters in diameter, China launched its Long March 6C rocket for the first time on Monday, which successfully inserted 4 satellites into a sun-synchronous orbit. The upper stage appears to have dumped the excess propellant while in orbit, which formed a pretty beautiful trail. Also worth mentioning is the launch of the Chang'e 6 mission to collect the first ever samples from the moon's far side It consists of an orbiter and a launcher that have already arrived at their destination orbit around the moon. The plan is for the lander to descend to the surface, pick up 2 kilograms or around 4.4 pounds of material with a drill and a scoop, and then ascend back up again to meet with the orbiter, which will then head back to Earth. And that's it for this short news video. Thanks for watching yet another video of mine. I hope you liked it. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.